What's up, everybody? Welcome in. My name is Rob Trujillo. This is your NFL Pregame Show where we pick every game against the spread. My man Sterl's on his way. Ran into some problems, as you do. And that happens on Sunday mornings. So we're waiting on Sterls. He's going to show up here in a minute. Until then, we'll run a little NFL pregame interference here. Let's get this thing all set up. I don't really have it set to run solo. So, we're just kind of making this up as we go. This is how we do. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I got to chill a little bit for the first time, I don't know, in a real long time. Yesterday, what did I do there? I picked the game. I do want to pick the game, but not like that. Got to chill yesterday for the first time in a real long time, so that was nice. Actually didn't set an alarm, which, as you get older, that is luxury. Not having to set your alarm clock to wake up at a specific time. First off, let's start by talking about the Thursday night football game. The New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And man, I mean, it was as bad of a game as promised, but in like a weird way. They scored way more points than I thought they were going to score. But it was like the anger of the futility that really set me off. You know what I mean? Mitch Trubisky is not an answer. Let's put it that way. And the Steelers as a whole have slowly slid into ambiguity, I guess I would say. Like, this is who I always thought they were, but, here we are, and they've lost 2 games in a row to 2 of the worst teams in the NFL, which is interesting. And our guy Sterls is ready, so let me go ahead and bring him in here. You good to go, Sterls? Give me a thumbs up. You're good to go. He's good. I don't want to put anybody on the stream who ain't ready to be on the stream. You know what I mean? All right. Sterls, my man.
Whoa, yo.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
It's good. Today is good. I just need a few things to happen. Okay. Namely, I need a Bills win today.
Ooh. You getting
That's
right to
coming in
the fanboy, I see. Okay.
How can you not?
I mean, listen, I get it, but I'm forced to be a bit more objective because I'm not allowed to watch the game tonight.
Oh, because you got
yeah, there's
Broncos?
like one game in the NFL opposite Bills Chiefs today, and guess what it is? Broncos Chargers. So I will have to be eyes on the Broncos game and just kind of following the Chiefs and Bills in the background. But yeah, man, like that's
brutal.
Is that really all that's got you twisted right now? That can't be the only thing that's got you twisted.
No, it is. It is. And the fact that I can't get a PlayStation Portal.
Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to dig it. Go ahead. Why can't you? What's the matter?
Well, they sell out. Right when they put them out, they sell them out. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm trying to get my son a PlayStation Portal for Christmas, and you can buy them on StockX, but you're going to pay, jacked up prices.
Yep.
It's crazy. But that's, nobody cares about a damn PlayStation Portal. But I do care about these
here's
Bills.
What we do care about. We care about you. and we care about your son and his happiness. Things that we do care about. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just important times that we've got going on here as we round into the gift giving season here.
Mm.
And it's interesting. My commercial question actually has to do with that, but we'll save that, for the commercial. Let's not
Okay.
jump ahead here.
All right.
While I was just kind of vamping, waiting for you, was talking about the Thursday night football game between the
Okay.
New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I grossly had to root for the New England Patriots. And yet here we are with this 7-4 Steeler football team, which all the Steeler fans wanted to tell me it was unfair that I hated on them, and that they were in prime playoff position. And Matt Canada sucked, but their defense was so good, and their offense was going to be better after Matt Canada got fired, which it kind of has been. But
Sure.
that's aside from the point. And now they've lost 2 home games in a row in a span of 5 days to
Right.
2-10, now 3-10 Cardinals team and a 2-10, now 3-10 Patriots team.
Doesn't it feel good? It just feels good. You talk about a paper tiger, like
Yeah.
they suck. Like they suck. I don't care what anybody says, that the Steelers suck because you don't have
They
a
don't
quarterback.
suck.
So
They don't, and
they
I
do suck. They do suck.
feel the need to make this mental health guy coming in with a gifted sub. Always so generous to the stream, mental health guy. Appreciate you. And no doubt he's here to talk shit about Josh Allen, which we will handle as soon as he types out whatever hate he's going to type out. David also jumping in on YouTube. Morning, boys. I hate rooting for the Patriots, but glad they got it done. 100% on that. I had to stop you, Sterls, because they're not trash. Their defense is good.
Okay.
Their defense is good. And some years I feel like people are like, oh, the Steelers defense is good, and they're really just running on reputation, right? They're just, it's because their jerseys are that color and they only got a logo on one side of their helmet that everybody says, oh, the Steelers defense is so good. I think their defense is legitimately good. Their offense is so bad. And, did you watch the game? Did you see Pickens?
He looks.
Ooh.
I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
Offer a 4th for him. That's what they're gonna do.
I don't want him in Buffalo. That dude's attitude and the way he no.
Oh, I didn't mean for the Bills. I'm just saying in general,
okay.
Anybody offer a 4th for him because
we already got one of them here.
Yeah, that's not the way that it's just not the way that I feel like the Steelers want their guys inside the building. But every time somebody leaves there who's a little bit of a head case, you end up finding out that they've been like that the whole time. And is it Mike Tomlin who's really good at managing people, or you know what I mean?
He's a great coach. Mike Tomlin's a great coach. He always has his guys prepared and ready, and I think they overachieved because he's such a good coach. But I mean, that roster is just not. It's just not where it needs to be, and you don't have a quarterback. So
I think it's more the second thing than the first thing. They've got good wide receivers. Their offensive line is at least adequate. They've got decent running backs. I like Freiermuth. And like I said, I think their defense is good. And so really it's that they don't have a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to look at the playoff standings here. Okay, so with that loss, they dropped from the 5th seed to the 8th seed. And that's how tight this AFC is going to be, man. I mean, there are going to be 5 or 6 teams for 3 spots is how it's going to work.
Right. It's tough. It's going to be, it is a tight race. And, the funny thing is, what it looks like right now in terms of the final standings is not going to resemble what it's going to look like in 5 weeks. Like you're saying, alluding to, there's so much parity in the AFC. Who knows who's going to make the playoffs at this point when it comes to those, in the hunt or wild card teams that are trying to get in. It's going to be a dog race.
David says Mitchy Biscuits doesn't do it for you, and that is kind of amazing to me. I did not think he was this bad. Let's put it that way.
Oh, he's rough.
Yes, I mean, real bad. And like maybe there was a little bit of Brian Dable magic sprinkled in when he took the few snaps he took for the Bills, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he was as bad as it has looked. So right now your playoff seedings as we enter today, the Browns are in the 5 spot at 7-5. Colts in the 6th spot at 7-5. Texans in the 7th spot at 7-5. Then you have the Steelers at 7-6 on the outside looking in. Broncos at 6-6 at 9. Bengals at 6-6 at 10. And Bills at 6-6 at 11. Should we take a Jake Browning second here?
Hey, Jake Browning looked good.
I was
last week.
Thoroughly impressed watching him play. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I really was impressed with the kid. I know he's not a kid anymore. He bounced around practice squads and such, but damn, he brought a little bit of game and maybe just enough to get a team like the Bengals that's got plenty of talent into the playoffs, Sterls.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, let's not forget that this is still a good roster. They're still coached well. They can lean on the running game when they need to. I think that's the biggest thing that you have to take away, and you want to, put some dinero toward them making the playoffs is that, okay, like they can run the ball when they need to. And then at any given point, all you have to do is just take shots with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Just put it up there. And more times than not, they're going to make a play for you. So they're not as dynamic as they once were with Joe Burrow, but sure. To write these guys off, I think that would be kind of crazy.
And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I saw the Burrow went down, and I thought to myself, Jake Browning at quarterback, like, forget it. The AFC's too tough this year. There's no chance.
They are cooked, though. They're cooked.
Are they?
I mean, when you look at their expectations coming into the season compared to where it is now, I mean, they really can't. They're not. Even if they make the playoffs, they're not going to make a run.
Oh, I agree. But unless I don't know how long the recovery time is for Burrow, but if he can get another month of recovery in and come back, like I don't know if that's even feasible. So I'm not.
I think we need to start having a conversation about Joe Burrow, though. He's always injured.
No, don't do that.
He is.
Don't do that.
He has an injury history that's lengthy. He is.
Okay, that's different than him always being injured. Those are two different statements.
Who am I talking to today? Who is this?
It was funny because when I was thinking about how my intro.
Did you get sleep last night?
No, I really didn't. When I was thinking about
did you go on a date?
Thinking about being like, here comes the energy for the show, the guy who's going to carry it because I am tired and exhausted. Starts for the girls.
Man, just came in here you just love everybody and everything today.
You can't. You can't do it about Burrow.
I can do that.
No.
I just did. Did.
It's not. Listen.
Hashtag narrative.
If we're talking soft tissue injuries or something like that, we can have the conversation. Dude's had an ACL and like a tear in his wrist. What are we fucking talking about here? Come on.
Yeah, that's
freak accidents.
Training camp, he had a calf. Like, come on, dude.
And played through it.
Okay, we can argue about Burrow another time.
The man led his team
great,
to the Super Bowl, which means
he's not durable.
He played 22 games that year or some shit.
Yeah, that year. Yeah, that's the perfect way to say it. That year.
I think your
dude gets banged up. That's all.
I got to be completely honest with you. I think you and me and all the guys wearing royal blue.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Are a little bit spoiled. I really do. Dude is a dog. He's a tank. He's gigantic. And he doesn't miss starts. And props to him for that. I mean, I think he deserves his proper love for that. But I don't think that's realistic in today's NFL. I really don't.
I love Joe Burrow, man. I do.
Doesn't
I,
sound
I
like it.
hate to see him go down. I think the quality of the league it takes a hit. But if you're a Bengals fan, you have to be like cautiously like when he steps on the field, you got to be like shit, like please protect this man at all costs.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I hear you.
that's
I just
scary. Like if when he gets sacked, it's kind of like when we watched Peyton Manning his last year here in Denver. We were all worried, like, okay, please keep this man upright. Even though statistically he wasn't phenomenal, but we knew like if he goes down, it's a wrap. So kind of I feel the same way with Burrow to an extent. Not as I mean, Peyton was on his last leg, but man, you just don't want to see him get hurt. And whatever it takes this offseason for them to put more offensive linemen that are quality around him so that he doesn't take hits is the better, because you're starting to see he like when you compare him to Josh Allen in terms of durability, they're not the same. So they need to figure out how to protect him is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I
Better.
mean, when we talk about the Bills, it's frustrating that they don't make their weapons their number one priority because they
Mhm.
have Josh Allen. For the Bengals, with that quarterback specifically, your number one priority has to be offensive line, and
Yep.
he should be
It should be.
behind the number one offensive line in the league year in and year out. And that's how you make that asset worth it. And if you have to give up a T Higgins because
I
you
was just
can't
about to
afford
say
to
that.
pay him, then
Do
you
it.
then you give up a T Higgins
Yep.
because he's not Josh Allen, right? Like Allen and Mahomes, you can say, all right, we'll take a mediocre offensive line. Let's put great weapons around them.
Mhm.
Kansas City has said, let's take a mediocre offensive line and mediocre weapons and put a great defense around them, which is interesting. But
Right.
but if you're the Bengals, I agree with you. I think your number one priority has to be putting the league's best offensive line in front of Joe
Yeah.
Burrow.
Oh, absolutely. But no,
One
man,
thing I wanted
Joe.
to talk about with that Monday night game, Sterls,
Uh-huh.
Jacksonville Jaguars go into that game 8-3. They come out 8-4 and just one game up on two different teams in the AFC South. Both the Colts and the Texans are just one game behind them, which is crazy. They went from looking at a number one seed, they would have been 10-3 in the number one or 9-3 in the number one seed, to one game up in the division. And it just goes to show you how quickly this time of year, like how close everything really is. You know what I mean? Like we
Right.
feel like there's some
Right.
distance between teams. There ain't, man. And my case in point for that was going to be the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 9-3. They're the one seed right now. They've looked pretty good. Have you seen the rest
Yeah.
of their schedule?
No.
Whoo, boy. You think the AFC North is done? You better sit down, bro. Because it is. They play the Rams this week in Los Angeles. Could lose that game, right? It's one they should win, but could lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to picking that so you can get your full thoughts in on that. But then then Baltimore is at Jacksonville, at San
Okay.
Francisco, versus Miami,
Golly.
and then they end versus Pittsburgh.
That's murderer's row, man.
And that's your number one seed.
They ain't getting that. They're good, but look, that defense can carry. But they're gonna need all cylinders firing.
I'm just saying, for as close
that's a tough schedule.
as close as it felt like a couple weeks ago, the top four in the AFC had really separated themselves from the rest of the pack. And I think that Jacksonville loss shows you just how quickly it can flip. We talked a little bit about the Dolphins last week too, with a similar situation. They've got a couple really easy games here before getting into the back end of their schedule, which is tough, and they have to win them because it's versus Tennessee, versus the Jets, and then they're versus Dallas, at Baltimore, versus Buffalo. So those top teams that seem like they're a little bit further away than from everybody else, you better keep winning, man. You can't rest on your laurels or else you're gonna get caught.
Yep. No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, that's tough. I didn't even take the chance to look at the Ravens' remaining schedule. I mean, that's brutal. So yeah, to your point, the AFC North is not dead. I mean, I still count the Steelers out. I don't see them making any run, but the
But
Bengals.
but if I tell you it's 10 wins that's going to win that division. Like if the Ravens really fall apart, and don't come at me with why would you say they would do that, blah 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 blah. Have you seen the last 3 years?
Oh yeah, I listen. They're vulnerable. Every team has flaws, right? Every team has flaws.
But like the last 3 years, that Ravens team has fallen apart down the stretch. Even the Super Bowl year for the Bengals, I remember I was sitting talking with our boy Scotty. He was like, "Hey, who's going to catch the Ravens? They're so far out ahead." And I'm like, "The Bengals. The Bengals can catch the Ravens," and they did, and they won that division.
Right.
I think it's a similar situation this year where a Joe Flacco led Browns team can get to 10 or 11 wins. And if Baltimore falls apart down the stretch here, you could be looking at one of them winning the AFC North. So, okay, that's our 1,000-foot discussion based on the games we had on Monday night and Thursday night. Let's get into this week's picks and teams. And we start with Sterl's favorite, the NFC South. It's his favorite division to watch, favorite division to talk about. I mean, he's all in.
Oh yeah, NFC South. I mean, you talk about the quality of football in that division is second to none. I mean, just stacked with just behemoths.
Who do you guys like to win the NFC South? Go ahead and put it in the chat there. I liked Baker Mayfield and the Bucks coming into the season, and Todd Bowles is just Todd Bowled all over that. So, are the Falcons actually a decent team? Do the Bucks feel like they're headed in the right direction after getting a win last week over a woeful?
Nobody cares, Rob. Nobody effing cares.
Here's who cares.
Listen,
here's who cares.
How can you bet? How can you bet? Like they F up my little parlays every damn week.
Then stop.
Like you pick the Falcons, and they it's just like Jekyll and Hyde with these teams in the NFC South.
Here's who cares, and this is what makes me so angry. Here's who cares: the 5th seed or the top wild card in the NFC. Because they got to travel to whoever wins this godforsaken division to play a playoff game. And it's stupid, and I've said it every year, and I don't think I've ever said it on this show. So if you'll allow me a minute, the division winners should not get a guaranteed home game. It's so freaking dumb. If you're better than 3 other teams in the league, so you get a home game. 3.
Yeah.
You're better than 3 other teams. And the majority of your wins probably come against that division, those 3 guys. Mm-hmm. Get the out. If you win your division, you're guaranteed a playoff seed. Then do it by record from there. That's all. How hard is that?
Very.
Get out.
Very.
Get out.
It's for the owners. It's for their revenue. That's what it's for. That's why they do it that way. That's the only reason.
Bro,
because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
The top wild card still has an owner who wants revenue. You're not losing the playoff game. You're just changing where it's played.
Yeah.
And a 14-3 Eagles team or a 14-3 Cowboys team should not have to go travel to Atlanta to play a 7-9 Falcons team. 7
yeah, well, the
Falcons.
Eagles should. The Eagles deserve all that. So, F those guys. Throw the Cowboys in there too. Everybody else I'm cool with. Like I have compassion, but the Eagles, Cowboys, no. Go travel.
There's a flaw in the system,
and I hope the away teams, bathrooms are flooded, so you have to hold.
There's a flaw in the system, and you know it. This shit is flawed.
There it is.
Who are you picking? Bucks, Falcons, 1.5 if you want it, or you can just take money line.
I wanted to come in here and not cuss, swear today. You know what? My morning has been fantastic up until the point you mentioned the fucking Bucks and Falcons. Everything was great. Dude, I don't know. Who, you know what? You go first and then I'll think about it.
Bucks.
Why?
Baker Mayfield. I know.
Try again.
Dude, I know. But here's the long and short of it.
Okay.
If I'm really not sure who to pick, I pick the better quarterback. Do I think Baker Mayfield is better than Desmond Ridder? Well, I guess so.
Shit.
I'm not saying I'm not saying Baker's great or anything like that, but we've got a very low bar to clear here.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, we do. You know, you look at it on paper and you say, okay, the Bucs should win this game. Should. They got the better roster.
Way better.
I think better front seven. Now, I think the secondary for the Falcons is better. Okay? But you have a veteran quarterback and 2 stud receivers. How can you F that up?
And how about like a couple great linebackers, a few good members of the secondary. Vita Vea is solid. Like, you got a talented roster there. Let me ask you this. If they would have fired Todd Bowles 2 games ago and Bruce Arians came down and started walking them sidelines, are they the outright favorite to win the NFC South?
Absolutely. And he has to do it in a Kang goal. Yeah.
I know that's why he's your dog. I know.
That's my dog.
I'm just saying, like, to me, it's 100% a coaching problem. And I think Baker Mayfield's the better quarterback. I don't think that's saying much. I'm not here waving the flag for Baker. I'm just telling you that I don't think Desmond Ridder's any good. And it's going to be another boring game at 11 o'clock on a Sunday.
Watch Bijan go off for like 200 yards today.
If anybody would, that'd be great. Like
that's their only hope.
Right.
Because you can't count on Kyle Pitts.
And I got to watch Red Zone. So, you know, if somebody wants to do something, that'd be great. I'm fine with it.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Lions, Bears. These guys played a couple weeks ago, and it was way too close for comfort.
Did the Bears win that game?
No. Lions came back and won.
The Lions came out because of Aiden Hutchinson.
But, come back, right? Like, they were not in control of that game. And then the week after that is when they pissed down their leg versus the Packers.
Yep.
Got to put together a better effort today if you're the Lions, but I think they found a little something last week. I think the 3 points is very generous, that being the only spread. I'm happy to lay it and take the Lions here, -3.
Yeah. One thing I'll give the Bears, they play everybody really tough. Like, they're not getting smoked in these games. But I think,
cool.
Like,
did you just give them a participation trophy?
I did. Well, I did because they're a bad team. They are a bad team. So I got to give them a tiny bit of love on that. Like, they do play hard.
All right.
Because when you look at their roster, you think you guys should be getting smoked every week.
No, that's not true, man.
They suck.
Montez Sweat. Tremaine
Okay,
Edmonds.
their pass rush has been exponentially better since they added Montez Sweat, so that helps.
Okay, DJ Moore. Like, they've got talent on that roster.
Yeah, but
David Montgomery. Like, there's talent on that roster.
David Montgomery plays for the Lions.
I'm sorry. Who am I thinking of?
But they got Khalil Herbert. They got running backs.
That's not who I'm thinking of. Shit.
Roshan Johnson.
I can't remember. Never mind. But you get my point. There's guys on that team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the roster is devoid of talent. They aren't the Panthers.
Well, it is.
They aren't the Panthers.
No, they're not the Panthers. They're not the Panthers. But so then be a big boy and take the Bears. You so proud of their roster. Take the Bears.
I'm just saying they don't deserve participation trophies. No, I'm just saying they don't. We're not fielding a JV team here playing against varsity, and you're like, well, at least you tried, son. Like,
come on, Cletus.
I played a team that literally did that. So Cherokee Trail was a brand new high school here in Denver when I was playing. And so they were a 5A school, but they were playing at 3A because they only had freshmen and sophomores. yeah. It was literally, hey, let's field a JV team and play them against the varsity.
Oh, wow.
And we just big boyed those boys. I think they handed me the ball like 20 times and I had over 100 yards rushing and I just ran people over because it was just like playing freshman and sophomore kid.
I didn't know you play running back.
Oh, yeah. Leading rusher and tackler our senior year, which, my fat ass, you wouldn't think, but
you had the juice.
I started varsity playing offensive line and ended up playing running back. I don't know how many stories you hear about stuff like that, but there you go.
You were a tank.
Yeah, well. Listen.
Did you have breakaway speed or was it you just running people over?
Oh. Hell no. I actually didn't even get fast until I was only 17 when I graduated high school. I didn't even grow into my speed until I was in college. And
you went to Hofstra, right?
Yeah. What you gotta say about Hofstra? Better watch yourself.
Nothing. Hey man, hey. Did you play ball there?
They wouldn't let me. Concussions. So I went there on a preferred walk-on. They were going to give me a scholarship in the spring. And after they saw my concussion history, the doctor said they weren't going to let me play, so I was going to transfer out of there, and then I ended up just
Stop right there. That explains your mood swings.
Oh,
you woke up this morning all positive. I'm
100%.
like, who is this? Like
100%.
In 2 hours, you'll be like, what the
I'm
the
angry
Bills,
at you
you'll be
right
pissed.
now.
Yeah, well,
This very second.
I'm used to it.
All right, that's enough about me. Like, why do we?
Let's get all the terrible games out of the way first. Get those fucking games out of the way.
Oh, so then, hold on. Should I look through the rest of the slate here? Because I don't even know what order.
Okay. Texans and Jets.
How about Panthers? How about we do Panthers and Saints?
Oh yes, Panthers and Saints.
All right, we're doing the shitty games first. Panthers and Saints. Panthers plus 5.5. Looked game last week against the Bucks. When you put them against competition that's around their same level, they're okay. They did get the fired coach head coach bump, which I like to give teams.
You called that. Called that.
Yeah, so they I believe they covered last week. Saints, awful. Dennis Allen needs to be fired. Derek Carr is what we thought he was. Jameis Winston is what we thought he was. Stop telling me their defense is good. Anything else you can think of on this game? The over-under is 39. Jesus Christ.
That's awful. I gotta pick the Saints here with the 5.5.
No, minus 5.5.
Minus 5.5.
You're laying 5.5?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nope, not doing it. It's one of those stupid games. It's gonna be just like the Buccaneers game last week. 5 points is too much, man. It's gonna be a field goal game. You know that, I know that.
No, I choose to believe that it'll be better. Give me the Saints minus 5.5. I'm going with it.
I won't do it.
Watch I lose that too. But I gotta stand no business. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what is
the NFC
next?
South?
I think that's all the terrible games. Now we're just to like mediocre games.
Okay, so Colts Bengals. We kind of talked about this earlier.
Okay, mediocre games. Colts Bengals. Gardner Minshew. Can we just take a second and he's still one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
And
no question.
When he was a free agent, I think every team should be clamoring to sign a guy like that who isn't going to bitch about not being the starter, but comes in and can give you a solid effort with 250 yards and 2 touchdowns every week.
He's the new Nick Foles.
Oof. He's way better than Nick Foles. Way better. Nick Foles had one good year. That's it? That's all you got to say about him? No love for the jorts?
I remember Minshew Mania with the Jaguars. I do remember that. That was fantastic.
How about Minshew Mania in the Heisman race for Washington State University with our boy Mike
Nope.
Leach?
Nope. Mm-mm. Taysom Hill is out. Trevor Lawrence is in, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Trevor Lawrence active versus the Browns. And guess what game we're going to talk about right after this? Bengals -3 here.
Pause. Let me tell you. So, Tyler Boyd, Travis Etienne, Dearness Johnson, Juwan Johnson, Noah Brown are all active. Inactives today are Taysom Hill, Rashid Shaheed for the Saints, and Vita Vea is out today.
Very few
Vita
defensive
Vea is out
tackles
today.
who make that announcement list, but worthy that he did.
Damn.
Okay, so Colts +3 on the road versus the Bengals. Can Jake Browning duplicate an effort that he put forth on Monday night? Listen, the most impressive thing to me was the play calling. And I say it all the time, especially with young or backup quarterbacks, start them easy, nice and slow, right? Couple quick throws, slants, swings, screens. Get him going. And that's what they did. And then all of a sudden, the first drive, they put up his stats and they're like, oh, the first drive, his longest air yard pass was, I think, 6 yards. And, other than that, most of them were behind the line. And then all of a sudden he starts ripping some corner shots, some like honey hole shots on cover 2 defenses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he starts to feel it just a little bit. It was I think a masterclass in this is how you warm a guy up and then let him just kind of go. And he ended up with an incredibly efficient night. I don't know if he can put something like that together again, though. And that's kind of the question of, Gardner Minshew, he's not going to run away with 500 yards passing and whatever, but he's going to put up 230 and 2 touchdowns every week,
Yeah. I think it comes down to playmakers in this game, right? And I feel like the Bengals are in a better position to make plays, right? One of the things that I was really impressed with Jake Browning is the game isn't too big for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't look overwhelmed. He can fully function, operate in this offense. And that's what gives me confidence in the Bengals in this game. Yeah, Gardner Minshew is going to give you 220, 2 tutties, right? But I think that they may have found something now a little bit with Jake Browning. Like, they know what they can do. They know what their limitations are. I think if you know what your limitations are, you can just hit what works, right? Hit that running game, short passes, take a couple shots, and that's all he needs to do. He needs to manage the game, and he does that well.
Well, and especially if you got a good play caller,
Gardner Minshew is going to have to make plays today if they're going to beat the Bengals. How many plays can Gardner Minshew make?
Yeah.
Can he get some breaks from the defense?
I don't even believe in their defense that much. I think the Colts at 7-5 are more of a paper tiger than the Bengals at 6-6.
Okay. And that's fair. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So I think I'm going to take the Bengals here. I'll lay the 3 points. I do think it ends up being around a field goal game.
Same.
As most games in the NFL are. It's not breaking news for me. But I just think give me Jake Browning at home and the defense making just enough plays to get a win there in what is an incredibly important game in the AFC playoff race.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Jaguars, Browns, as just reported by Sterls for the girls. And probably more important people before him. I'm going to guess, Schefter, Pelissero. Somebody had it before Sterls.
Adam Schefter broke the news.
Yeah.
I can't take any credit. I have no sources.
I was trying to lead you down the road like you're going to say who said it.
Yeah, I can't take any credit for that. But I can read.
Adam Schefter broke the news. Trevor Lawrence is active and starting today.
Along with Travis Etienne.
Yes.
So that's huge.
Yeah. The 8-4 Jaguars head to the 7-5 Browns, who are starting Joe Flacco.
This is a gift from the football gods of betting. So you got the Jaguars sitting here, and let's lock this one in because that's going to change now that he's active. Let's go ahead and lock that in. So I just ran a 5-team parlay on that. Okay, and I'm gonna put $10 down on that.
So your
Done.
five. This is the 5 games we've talked about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Parlays are stupid than just you throwing away your money, but go ahead.
Why? Listen. Stop being a hater. I won one of our parlays last week. I won $200. Okay.
Okay.
So there's that.
Okay.
And I'm using that money to bet today. So um yeah, I mean obviously you're right. Parlays, you're throwing away your money, but in this instance, like, who cares? It's not a big deal.
All right. Well, I'll take the Jaguars too. That money line is nice at plus 105. If you want the 1.5, you can take it. But if Trevor Lawrence is healthy enough to play, my expectation is that they douse this Browns team. This is a Browns
Yep.
team that's reeling right now. I think they're really in some trouble here. The game in LA wasn't as bad as the score looked. It was very close late. They missed an extra point to tie the game. And then all of a sudden, stupid stuff happened, and Rams end up winning by 3 scores. But the Browns are coming off a loss in Denver, a loss in LA, and the Jaguars suddenly need this game. I think the Jaguars to win here is an easy pick for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's 1.5. Yeah. Give me the Jags. Travis Etienne, run the ball, Only thing Trevor Lawrence has to do is just distribute. I don't need him breaking the pocket. None of that. Just look, if it ain't there, throw it away. I don't need him to make plays. I just need him to throw the ball.
But it's hard. It's hard to put that into a guy's head after his muscle memory all these years is.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'd rather that than CJ Beathard.
Hey, give the man credit. The man deserves credit. He drove them down the field during a 2-minute drive.
And he had a great throw to Calvin Ridley that was called back on a phantom hold call. So
still drove them down the field after that.
Mm-hmm.
Guy tied the game.
Didn't win. So there's that.
Well, but I mean, I give him credit for the 2-minute drive coming cold off the bench.
Yep.
All right, we've talked Panthers, Saints, Texans, Jets.
Ooh.
I kind of want the Texans to win this just to bury the Jets completely because I'm tired of the Aaron Rodgers talk. But the Texans aren't going to have a lot of losable games left, and I think they're going to make the playoffs. So this would be one where you kind of say, hey, this is a team you want to jump up and bite them a little bit, at least as a Bills fan. Thoughts on Texans-Jets?
Well, Zach Wilson's starting today. That doesn't move the needle much at all, but it's better than what they have had.
Against his will, apparently.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I'd be feeling the same way. You told me you're going to trade me this offseason, but you want me to come out here and play? Nah, fam, I'm good. But he's going to play. He's going to do his 111th. But at the end of the day, I do think that the Texans will get him. I mean, the Jets can't score unless Breece Hall pops off or Garrett Wilson just has a great day. Or if you see a new looking Zach Wilson, I just don't think it's enough. I think, the Houston Texans they'll be reeling just because they don't have Tank Dell. I mean, that's CJ Stroud's number 1 receiver. So you're going to have to rely on Nico Collins and Mechie and some of these other guys to kind of step up.
Bobby Trees.
Can they do that? Robert Woods. Yes, I forgot about Robert Woods. So, shoot, give me the Texans. I think it, -3. I think it's a field goal game just because I think, the Jets defense will hold the Texans down from scoring too many points. Right. So this game could be like a 14-17, 20-14 kind of game. So give me the Texans. I think they pull it out late.
mental health guy who gifts subs on this channel so he can talk shit about Josh Allen. It's fine. I'll let him do it.
I like mental health guy, but
do
why are
too.
you doing that? Why are you doing that?
He wants you to know that Zach Wilson has beat Josh Allen this season if you need more convincing that Josh Allen isn't elite.
Okay, great. I'm not going to respond to that because that's asinine. So I want to preserve my mental health guy, by not responding to what you just said.
Like, there's 52 other guys on that roster. He had a rough game that game, but the whole time, and I've said this about a lot of games that the Bills have lost, you never felt like the Bills weren't the better team. It was just like, hey, come on, like, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get this
yeah,
together.
I ain't tripping. Josh, there's 31 other teams that will kill to have Josh Allen. So
yeah, I mean, I have said that before. I really think it's probably 29.
Sure, okay, that's
right?
Still an overwhelmingly amount of teams that would.
Did you see Greenberg's little
yes, that was great.
monologue?
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Mental health guy. Did you see Greenberg's little monologue? I feel like I should. If I was more technologically savvy, I would play it right now, right here for you. But I don't think I can pull that off.
Yeah, it's all good.
I will take the Jets +3 here. I have been betting the Texans all year. Yeah, I've been betting the Texans all year. I like C.J. Stroud. But for as annoying as that defense has been talking shit about how good they are, remember that 85 Bears crap they were talking at the beginning of the season before the season started?
Oh, yeah.
And as much as they've been annoying talking shit about, we've held down some of the best quarterbacks in the league, blah, 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 I think they're going to be a tough matchup for a rookie quarterback.
That's fair.
I really do. So maybe we can get the Nathaniel Hackett to do the one thing that offense does well, which is run the football.
Okay.
Right? Like, hey, here's an idea. Your quarterback sucks. Why don't you stop trying to throw it? But give me the Jets. Give me 3 points. I'm betting it's a field goal game at the worst for me. And C.J. Stroud, even in his wins, they've been close, man. He's been coming back. That Bronco game last week, they had several chances to put the Broncos away and didn't. So I'm just betting it's going to be close is what I'm betting here. Okay, Rams.
You're bold. You are a bold man.
Got to take some chances, man. Got to take some chances in life. Can't just be sitting around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, shit.
Rams 6-6 at the Ravens 9-3. Rams getting a full touchdown here, and I think
before you say anything else, can you answer this question for me? Is this a trap game for the Ravens?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's a trap game for Vegas.
Yeah, look, every time on this show, we have doubted the Rams this season. I think we've been wrong. When you go and you look at the Ravens' remaining schedule, as we did early in the show, the Ravens, their players are human, and I'm sure they know what they have up against them coming up, and I think Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua. I mean, these guys they're not bad. Sean McVay and that they're good. It's
a very different team with Matt Stafford at quarterback. I mean, just plain and simple. I think with Matt Stafford and quarterback, I think they're 5-1 maybe or something like that. 5-2.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. So, how do you feel about the Ravens defense then? So if we talk about Matthew Stafford, we know there's a big difference in quarterback play, but I think the Ravens defense, if when they're on, to me, they're the best defense in football.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Dude, man, when they're on, Roquan Smith, that defensive line is good. They got Marlon Humphrey and Hamilton in the back end. Man, they're
never a big
good.
Marlon Humphrey fan.
They're good, man. That defense is good. What I'm telling you, it's good.
Solid.
Okay, top 3 defensive football.
Solid, I would say. But I will say this. Remember what we were saying about the Steelers defense?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that often years they get a little bump from just having a logo on just one side of their helmet. I think it's the same thing
Don't
for the
do that.
boys in purple.
Don't do that.
I think it's the
I don't agree with
same
that.
thing
I don't
for the
agree with
fellas
that.
in purple. I'm just telling you.
I don't know about that,
I
man.
think they're a top 10 defense.
Okay, that's fair.
I just don't think they're the best defense in the NFL.
I think that, they give you a run, man. They give you a run.
I don't think so, buddy. I will take the Rams, and I'll take the full touchdown and the hook. You get 7.5 points to take the Rams here. Now,
Will you do it?
I did. I already did.
Okay.
Just bet it.
All right.
I put my money where my mouth is, my man. Here's the thing all the bettors would tell you. It's absolutely a thing, so I feel the need to point it out every time it's true. West Coast team headed to the East Coast playing a 1 o'clock game. It's tough. No thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, it is tough. But here's where it gets. This is where you can. Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is having a good season, right? 7 touchdowns, 700 yards, just about rushing. If they can get something going on the ground, boy, you lock them in for that bet. Lock them in. I think if they have to rely on Matt Stafford to throw the ball 40 times today, they're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to have a balanced attack. But I hope McVay opens it up, right? That he really stresses this defense with those wide receivers that they have. Like they're playing really well. And this is the game that I want to see on the 1 o'clock slate today, just because like I haven't watched a lot of Lamar Jackson. I want to see how he approaches this game. Like, are they going to put the ball in his hands to win? You know what I'm saying? Like, not doing all these glitchy run plays and stuff, but if he's throwing the ball down the field, making plays with his arm, I want to see that from him today.
Real quickly, Osuk, thanks for jumping in the chat for the first time. He says, I don't know if I missed it, but how you feeling about the Browns-Jags game? I think we did just talk about it, but I think, Trevor Lawrence being back in absolutely matters for that game. Travis Etienne being in as well, Sterles pointed out, is important for that offense. And so I think we both like the Jaguars there, right, Sterles?
Yep. Yeah. And they're the underdog in this game. So +1.5.
Yeah.
Take that all day.
And I took the money line, but with the plus money. So I think it was +105 on the money line.
You took the money line?
I did. Listen, you never know how someone's going to react to an injury. Trevor Lawrence could go out there and be a shell of himself, but he's such a cerebral quarterback that I just feel like, I mean, if he in his head says, I got to get this ball out, he'll get the ball out,
So real quick, Vegas just updated their odds, and the Jags are +2.5 now.
Really? Let's look.
Does that change your opinion?
+2. Yeah, I got +2 on BetMGM. No, I would take the money line +110. So interesting, but yeah, I'd still be rolling with the Jags there. Okay, so to finish up on Rams and Ravens, yeah, I will take the Rams +7.5. I think the Ravens defense is good, but I don't think they're like, hey, let's shut down the world good. So a full touchdown is more than enticing for me to take. Trying to look here. I think the Ravens have won 2 games by more than a touchdown. Nope, 3. 4. They've won 4 games by more than a touchdown. So, I don't know. A whole touchdown just seems like a lot to me. Who are you taking? Taking the points or what? What you got, boy?
Yeah, give me the Rams +7.5. 7.5. Sorry. Give me the Rams. 75.
I mean, I'll take the Rams plus 75 too.
It'd be great, right?
If you want to give me
Instant
that.
winner.
All right. We've hit the afternoon games, which means we've got to run some ads here to turn off pre-roll. If you are a subscriber, you get to hang out and you get to talk commercial question with us. Otherwise, we will see you in just a couple minutes here. All right, Stirls. It's the holiday season. Have you done anything to get festive, get in the mood yet?
Put up a tree.
You a tree guy?
Yeah.
Now, is your tree a hodgepodge of Christmas ornaments from across the planet? Or are you like, it's got to be very uniform, we put just, candy canes and lights on it and that's it?
It's not even that great. It is just very simple. Just a little bit,
That's it? I mean, what's on there? Are we talking bows? Are we talking candy canes?
Bow, lights? Some ornaments, some just plain ass ornaments, some lights. That's it. Nothing spectacularly magic about it. It's just a tree.
Okay. All right. Well, my commercial question of the day is, we have this tradition where we end up giving presents out. And I feel like it ends up creating a little bit of an expectation that makes it tough on some people. So the question of the week that I put out was, would you rather give gifts but also receive them? So you're buying stuff for other people, you're spending your money on other people, or just have it be that it was the accepted practice that no gifts got given and you got to spend your money on yourself?
Giving gifts is more rewarding to me. It feels better.
Because really what you're doing is you're taking that money you would spend on yourself, spending it on other people, and hoping that you can guess properly what would make them happy and that they can guess properly what would make you happy, more so than you just having the money and buying what you want.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, you can always buy what you want, right?
Not when you're spending your money on other people. Everybody's broke this time of year.
After the Christmas season, maybe February when everything goes back to normal.
Right, pay off a couple of those.
Buy what you want. Yeah.
Okay, so you like gift giving.
Dream.
I like gift giving too, but I hate receiving gifts. Like it's
awkward.
I don't like getting gifts, but I always love finding that thing that you think is gonna mean something to somebody that they won't necessarily buy for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The enjoyment that they have, and it's just like, man, it just feels rewarding. It feels nice in a selfish kind of way. Like, man, like you just want to see their excitement. Like for me, Christmas now, like with my son, it's like I find just as much pleasure in seeing him excited about and the hug he gives you, and he's like, "Thanks, Dad," and like that to me is currency.
100%. 100%. Does he watch the stream? Is he there? So I know sometimes he's sitting right next to you. Is he sitting right next to you?
No, he's not sitting right next to me today. He's actually he's got a couple basketball games later, so
so what's the big gift today or this Christmas season, Pops?
Well, one of them. Well, we're going to the Nuggets game on the 18th against the Mavericks.
There you go.
That's one of the gifts.
There you go.
But the PlayStation Portal was like, that's going to be the thing.
Okay, but what happens when you can't get it?
Oh, I'm gonna get it. I'll just have to pay more money for it on StockX. I'll get the damn thing. I just don't want to spend extra money on it.
You're probably one of many parents saying that. The commercial question for those of you joining back up with us is: would you rather the tradition be that you give gifts or you don't? Would you rather the tradition be that you give gifts but receive them? Or would you like that tradition to go away and have it just be generally accepted that you just get to keep your money and spend it on yourself because you know what you want better than other people do? Stills and I are both gift givers, but It's part of the reason that I like Thanksgiving better than Christmas, because you don't have to do all the gift giving stuff. There's no expectations and stuff.
I always feel a sense of relief when Christmas gift giving is over. Like when it's done, it's like, oh yes, thank God, got through another year. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, especially you with a kid, it's a whole different level of expectation. You know what I mean? For me, if I mess up a gift for a friend or something, they didn't like it that much, whatever. But I don't even have a kid, but I feel the pressure of like you got to get it right. These are their formative memories. You know what I mean?
Now my son, he's a good sport. He doesn't care. Like he's just thankful. You know?
That's awesome.
He's just thankful. So I got lucky. Like that kid is awesome.
You did get lucky because you are a terrible person. So the fact that you've got a good is a wonderment all in itself. All right, let's get to the afternoon games. Real quick on the commercial question, mental health guy chimes in. Gift giving. I ask what people want. Gifts that are reasonable, or give them cash to help them get what they want. Yeah. I understand the people who give cash, but it's so hard because it is better for them, but for me, it's not as gratifying for me to give them cash. Especially because often I don't have enough of it to like give enough to make them, super happy. Right. So
that's a good point. But I love that question because like talking about my son, he'll be 13 next month. And so I'm actually giving him some money too, because he's at that age where, he wants to buy his own stuff and have that gratification. So I know I've dated some women who prefer money over me getting them a gift. Yeah. That's the thing.
There's a term for that.
I ain't saying she but she is messing with the
so anyway, Vikings at Raiders and mental health guy before our commercial question here asked if Minnesota doesn't win this game, do you count them out of the playoffs? The NFC playoff picture, especially those wild cards, have gotten real interesting. Teams we did not expect to be in it are in it. Teams we expected to be in it are not.
Right.
At the bottom of the NFC playoffs. So your top 5 are set. They just got to figure out what the order is. I shouldn't say top 5. Everybody but the NFC South winner is set. So four teams are pretty much in the playoffs. And then in the 6 and 7 spot right now, you have the 6 and 6 Minnesota Vikings and the 6 and 6 Green Bay Packers. Right behind them, you have the 6 and 6 Los Angeles Rams and the 6 and 6 Seattle Seahawks. Say that 10 times and try to say it fast. We were both just talked about how much we like the Rams with Matthew Stafford at quarterback if he can stay healthy. I don't know if they don't win this game that they're out of the playoffs, but this is one of those that you look at for the Minnesota Vikings and say, you better win this game. You better handle your business here, because your schedule is not easy going down the stretch at Cincinnati versus Detroit versus Green Bay at Detroit. So you better get this one here.
Yeah, it's a big matchup for them. But the Raiders, they've under Antonio Pierce, man, they're a different team. I think, and this sounds so cliche, but I think whoever wins the turnover battle will win this game. That's what I really feel like. You got an Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. So if I look at Aiden O'Connell and Josh Dobbs, who makes the most plays? Who makes the most plays? I'd say Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So
I gotta go. I gotta go. Answer.
Yeah, I mean, but you got Devontae Adams and so forth. Like, even Devontae Adams makes poop to gold. So
look at you trying not to swear. Poop to gold.
Yeah, man, you grew up a little bit. You know what I mean? But give me. Oh, and Jay Jettis is back, ain't he?
Yeah, I mean, they said after the bye. I didn't see anything. You feel like that would be breaking news that I would see, but I don't
Yeah,
remember
so
seeing
if
that.
Jay Jettis is back, give me the Vikings -3.
Yeah, I'll take the Vikings and I'll lay the 3 as well. Um,
See, yes, he is playing. Mental
okay,
health,
there you
thank you,
go.
sir. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me the Vikings and I'll lay the 3.5. Um, Raiders have been game under Antonio Pierce, no doubt, but um, I just don't think they have enough to beat the Vikings. I think the Vikings are better than their 6-6 record. I think they got off to a weird start with Kirk Cousins, and I think they've been good since Josh Dobbs has taken over. So give me the Vikings here. I think they're better than their record. I don't believe that you are what your record says you are. I'm not big into that. Give me the Vikings here, and I'll lay the 3 points. Okay,
Please
an
do Seattle, San
underrated.
Francisco next.
Yeah, an underrated game of the day: Seahawks at Niners, and suddenly the Seahawks need this game, have to have it, um, before they spiral too far out of control and out of the playoff picture. You know my rule, Sterls, so I don't even got to give you a breakdown. What's my rule?
No team is 2 touchdowns better than another team.
Not
If
in
that
the
spread is 10 or
NFL.
more, not in the NFL, you better take the team plus the points. Now, here you go. So, right now the Seahawks are 13.5 point underdogs. Okay? And that's at -108.
I got
Now,
a full
hold on.
14 on BetMGM, but go ahead.
Hold on. It's plus 525 if the Seahawks win outright, take the money line. That's that. I mean, when you look at this season, and I'm not saying I'm gonna do this, but I just want to throw this out there. How up and down this season has been. This certainly feels like it's a divisional game. It feels like one of those times where Seattle's just going to come out firing on all cylinders and they upset the 49ers.
Wow. Go ahead, bet it then. Forget your parlays. You got plenty of plus money there, my man. Tell me you're betting.
You know what?
Put in Seahawks money line, which by the way on BetMGM is plus 650.
Woo, boy. I'm gonna bet that. Done. I done did it. So I put my money where my mouth is, folks. If the Seahawks win, so let me tell you something. If the Seahawks win, I want you to crop this video, okay, and blast it all over social media that your guy right here, Sterls for the girls in the house, done won you a bag, okay? I'm trying to win all the men out there Birkin for their girl, or that PlayStation Portal, just like me, that we're all trying to get. This is gonna help your odds get that Birkin bag or that PlayStation Portal.
You still haven't told me why the Seahawks will win. Just that
I don't know. No, I was kidding. Well, here's the deal. This is where it could get really interesting. Can they run the football? Kenneth Walker, I think he's back this week. Zach Charbonnet, if these guys are healthy, that's how you're going to slow this game down. You're going to keep the 49ers off the field, keep their offense off the field because it's explosive. And then, can Brock Purdy, can you disguise some of your front, some of your, pre and post snap with those corners? Like you're gonna need a couple plays from defense as far as turnovers go. But I think, when you look at the 49ers going into Philadelphia and whooping their ass, the Eagles, man, it's one of those things where like they got over the hump. That was their bugaboo, like the Eagles. This could be one of those letdown games. So regardless, if you pick, the 13.5 point spread for the Seahawks, or you just pick them outright on the money line, I mean, we're in the betting business. Take a shot, right? Take a shot. So give me the Seahawks.
I have a hard and fast rule. I don't pick against 10-point spreads in the NFL. So I'm taking the Seahawks plus 14. You couched that as no team is more than 10 points better than another NFL team. The Niners might be 10 points better than every NFL team this year. The Niners. Did you see what they did to the Eagles?
Oh yeah, but the Eagles had it coming. Boy, they had it coming.
And
the Eagles had it coming.
They did. They had been playing with fire for weeks.
Yep.
And I was talking to one of my Eagles fan friends after the Bills game, and I said, "Do you really feel good about that win?" Because I am going to sit here and tell you I think the Bills were the better team and should have won that game. They didn't. Eagles pulled it out. They figured out a way to do it. But I felt like the Bills were the better team. No. I'm not worried about them, blah, blah, blah. Then they get blasted, and I walk back in there. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That some good team is going to come in and hand it to them. And now, and we'll get there, don't worry, but now you're in a situation with the Eagles where you have to win. The Eagles, best record in the league, 2 games up on everybody, have to win. Yeah, now they're in a situation where they have to win. So
yeah,
that Niners team, I think, is really, really good. We saw what they did to the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't a joke. That wasn't a fluke, you know?
If the freaking 49ers win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy as quarterback,
they very well could.
I just might crawl in a hole.
They very well could.
Fuck.
And stop with the Brock Purdy MVP stuff, please. God.
Yeah, God, stop.
He's good.
He's good.
He's
but
not
MVP? Come on.
He's not the best player. He's not even the best player on his offense, much less team, much less
Trent
league.
Williams is the best player on that offense.
And then we can probably I think CMC's got an argument.
No.
I think CMC's got an argument. But regardless,
premium position left tackle.
Regardless, they're 1-2, right? They're 1-2.
Oh yeah.
And then And then guess who's 3? Debo.
Then Kittle.
And guess what?
Then Ayuk.
I was gonna say you might even put Ayuk over top of him too.
Yeah, I mean seriously,
he might have.
Pick your poison.
With the way that he's played the past couple weeks, I will give you that he's elevated himself above Brandon Ayuk. How's that? There you go.
Hey, but Brandon Ayuk has been balling this year.
He has. He's been very good. All right, here they are. Let's save this one for last. Let's go here first. Broncos Chargers. Of course, has to be opposite Bills and Chiefs because my life sucks. The 6-6 Broncos head to LA, where they have never won a game in SoFi Stadium, to play the 5-7 Chargers. Broncos getting 3 points on the road. Broncos finally had things not go their way for the first time in months. There were balls that were fumbled that were on the ground around five guys around them. They couldn't recover it. Bad picks, a couple real bad penalty calls.
Right.
So the breaks for once didn't go the Broncos' way. And no, they didn't win the game, but they were at the goal line with a chance to win it at the end. So I think this Bronco team has grown a little bit and more expects to win than the disaster that they were to begin the season. I think this is a big game. I think the loser of this game might be... Oh, God, do I want to be that definitive? I don't know if I want to be that definitive. Man, maybe I do. The loser of this game might be eliminated. Like I might be ready to write off whoever loses this game completely. And it's less about either of these two teams and more about the state of the AFC. There's so many teams. A couple of them are going to get hot. And so you can't afford to fall this far behind. So, man, it's a back against the wall game, if you ask me. And I'll take the Broncos and the 3 points.
Yeah, Khalil Mack has been on a tear. Let's call that out. He's been phenomenal this year. But you can't. It's like you want to. It's like, how can you look at this roster for the Chargers and go, how come you're not winning this game?
I mean,
that's what we do every year, every week.
Right.
And the Broncos, I feel like the Broncos have something to play for. You know what I'm saying? Like not just because they're going to go to playoffs, but I think they're playing with their hearts. Like they are like they're going to be fine. If you're a Broncos fan, like it may not be this year, but like moving forward, you make some moves, you're going to be fine. The fact that these guys, with their backs against the wall, they're still playing well. And last week they even had a shot to beat Houston last week.
Yeah.
So I just don't like what I see from Brandon Staley as a coach. Never have. And Justin Herbert, I mean, he's great, but I just feel like the Broncos defense is gonna have something to say. Justin Simmons is gonna get a pick today. I'm telling y'all right now. Justin Simmons will get a pick.
This just popped into my head, and I'm gonna use it for my post-game show tonight. The Broncos are playing like men who have been embarrassed.
Yep. That's I love that. I love that.
They're playing like men who have been embarrassed because they were, and now they have like batten down the hatches. We're going back to work. Strap up the chin strap. All the cliches. We're not going to get embarrassed like that again. We're not, and they've turned their season around.
I love that you said that, and it's like the same spirit that the Arizona Cardinals had early in the season. It's like they've transferred that to the Broncos and say, you know what, you guys are playing like you're a team of destiny. It may not be this year, but like it's coming. Like you're going to start. I mean, you put good performances like that, and I know everybody says, well, everybody tries hard in NFL, but when you have, 11 guys on one side of the ball who do it, and another 11 guys on the other side of the ball, good things are going to happen. Like give Russell Wilson some credit this year.
Yeah.
Like he's not looked like, what he has in past years, but man, he gives them a chance to win every single week. The offensive line, let's talk about them. They've played well. This young defense that they have.
God, if Sean Payton would lean into running the football, they are so
Javonte Williams is such a stud.
Yeah.
He's such a stud.
Yep. So, and they listen, even when they signed him, Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey, their two strongest attributes for the two of them were run blocking, running the ball. So lean into what you paid for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we'll see if the Broncos do that today. I like them plus the 3. You're taking Broncos too here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Broncos plus 3 points
Actually,
on the road.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take the Broncos and the money line to win.
135 is what it is on BetMGM. What are you getting it at?
136.
Okay. 136. All right. Play the squirrel sound where he turns around and gives you that evil look. Dun dun dun. Bills, Chiefs. Again in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Again in Arrowhead. And we mentioned, I think we've mentioned on this show, but I know we have as Bills fans talked about it, that next year is when all this flips and all these games are going to start being in Orchard Park. For that to happen, you have to be the same place finisher as them. Nice job.
Yeah, they're not.
Excellent, excellent job, Buffalo. Well done. Well freaking done. Bills plus 1.5, plus 105 on the money line to head into Arrowhead and beat the 8-4 Chiefs, who are coming off a loss. Oof. Is that what you want if you're Buffalo walking into Arrowhead?
Yeah, because I could care less what, the stuff that happened with McDermott this week. And it's in a sense, I'll make my point here. But you got to look at what they've done in the past few weeks. They're looking like a real football team again. And the Chiefs are, even though they lost last week, they had some penalties, some stuff that didn't go their way. I think it was kind of fluky, but they just don't have the horses that like they used to offensively in terms of skill position players. And Isaiah Pacheco is out today. That's going to hurt. Brian Cook, safety, out. Donovan Smith, tackle, out. Like Patrick Mahomes, his average depth of target is like lowest in his career. So he's throwing the ball very short. He's not, He just doesn't trust the guys in place to make plays. And I think that style of offense fits perfectly in McDermott. And I don't like him as a head coach or defensive coordinator, but it fits perfectly into what McDermott wants you to do. He wants you to have 10, 12 play drives, right? Like you're going to have to earn every freaking yard you get. And I think that's going to be the difference. I think, if they come out here with these 10, 12 play, 8 play drives, I think they're not going to be able to sustain that offensively. So without Pacheco, I think they're going to be really hurting.
There's just you have a hard time looking at the Chiefs and saying they're going to lose 2 straight. But Josh Allen knows he needs this game. And, man, when you watch all 22s of Allen the couple of weeks he's had Joe Brady at the helm, I mean, dude is violent. He is ready to go right now. I don't know why I'm so confident, but I'm just very confident. Like I don't bet my own team, and you see me wearing the colors, like it is absolutely royal blue colored glasses. I'm not telling you it's not, but
yeah,
the Bills need this, especially after all they went through this week, and it doesn't take a lot to put a chip on an NFL team's shoulder. An us against everybody mentality. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just very easy for the Bills right now. They're 6-6. They've got an MVP, should be MVP at quarterback. He's got to go out and take this game, and I think he will. That is a bell that he normally answers. And I think he will. So I would
give me a score prediction.
I would take the 105 money line. What'd you say?
Give me a score prediction.
I'm gonna get absolutely cooked for this. 35-21 Bills.
That's kind of around this. I was gonna say 31-21.
I'm gonna get cooked, bro.
Bills. That's why.
Because predicting that the Bills handle the Chiefs that heavily.
Yo, that's an ass whooping. That would be considered an ass whooping.
That's what I'm saying. To predicting the Bills to handle the Chiefs like that in Arrowhead is absolutely going to get me cooked. But I just think they're going to go in there and just us versus the world, baby.
And as far as the McDermott stuff goes, like, one, you shouldn't never said anything about 9/11 like that. Poor taste in judgment. But the fact that it's coming out now, regardless of what you think of Ty Dunn, he's a great journalist. Like, dude, I'm telling you, he's good. But I think it's a blessing in disguise. When you look at the Buffalo Bills and the players that they have on their team and the culture that they do have, and I'm not a McDermott fan, but it's going to rally this team like you haven't seen this year. It's the juice that they needed. And I think they rally and it'll you know what? If they rally, it'll really show you the type of character that they have as a team, battling adversity. But if they crumble, it'll tell you that the McDermott message has gone sour.
That's what I was going to say.
It matters how they lose. It's how they lose, right?
There's no in between here to me. That article, what it did is it was like putting your hand into the middle of a pillow, right? Like everything is moving to either end. And either the team is going to fall apart and McDermott's going to get fired, which is not something that I would have said a couple weeks ago, but I do believe now, or the team is going to come together and make a run, and everybody's going to have to eat them teeth in their damn mouth about how much they hate Sean McDermott. Looking at you, Mr. Beanie there.
I would love to be a fly on the wall pregame while these guys are in the locker room. I think that'll tell you everything you need to know about today's game. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the demeanor in the room? How are they? You know what I'm saying? Like, you look into somebody's eyes and you go, okay, like, they for real today.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's got to. It made me respect and love Josh Allen even more than I already do, because with that article and what was said, and it's like the fact that he has such a great attitude and comes out and does his thing, knowing like my defensive coordinator, head coach can fuck this all up, but I'm still gonna put on and put these guys on my back and carry them to a victory or get them a lead.
Well,
Says a lot, man, about him.
and it's worth asking the question, like, how much of it is his leadership holding this team together? Like, McDermott has gotten a lot of credit for a long time, and maybe deservedly so. We'll have to look and see. But like, if Dable's warring with McDermott those early years for Josh Allen, right? Like, is it Josh's leadership that's holding the damn thing together? And like, it's something we won't know for another 15 years until these players get out of the league and get into media, and all of a sudden you start hearing stories from Greg Van Roten about, you know what I mean? Like, wars that were going on in the locker room, and Josh Allen held it all together. We won't know. We won't know for years. But, you know, maybe Josh Allen deserves even more credit than we've given him. And that's remarkable to me. David, still with us, says all or nothing. And it very much feels that way for the Bills here going through the rest of the year. All right, so the question is, was that the game of the day, or is this Sunday Night Football? Whew, we got a little gem here. Little beauty. Little beaut. Eagles, 10-2. Head down to face the Cowboys at 9-3. Eagles getting 3.5 points. And let me just get to my phone to place this bet as quickly as I can, because there is not an instant that I need to wait to tell you that the Eagles are going to smack the Cowboys, and I'll take the 3.5 points.
Ooh.
Yeah, I knew you were going to hate that.
Oh, man. I don't know, dude.
This argument for me is the same argument I made when the Niners played the Cowboys. The Eagles are good at everything the Cowboys are bad at. Got a dominant offensive line.
I think
they're going to run the football. They're going to run it right at Micah Parsons. He's not going to be the same guy that he is normally. The question is, can the defense hold up? Dak is a legit quarterback. That's a legit offense. But they only have a couple great options. And really, it's CeeDee Lamb, and then there's the rest of the offense. So can the Eagles find a way to neutralize him, take away their best option, and make Dak Prescott throw to everybody else, which he's more than capable of doing? I'm not saying that Dak can't win the game that way. I just think the Eagles have done it all year long. I think last week was the wake-up call that they needed, that they can't sleepwalk through first halves and expect to win these games. And I just think the Eagles are going to go in there and absolutely run roughshod.
Yeah. I would love that for the Bills' sake, because the Bills play Cowboys next week. But Dak, man, Dak's been balling this year. And when they played the first time, the Eagles, the Cowboys were in it to the end. They were in it, man. I feel like, oh man, it's tough. It's tough.
I don't think
it's
it's
a
tough.
toss-up.
I
do.
don't think it's tough.
These
Grow
are
up.
two good football teams.
Grow up, buddy.
Two very good football teams.
Grow up, buddy. It ain't tough.
Okay.
Get yourself together.
I've been together.
Come on.
Together.
Call it. Who you got?
Give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles, man.
After all that.
Give me the Eagles.
Well, now you got to tell me why.
A championship caliber team, they're not losing 2 in a row. They're just not. That offensive line is what's going to win the game. Man, that offensive line is so good. And DeAndre Swift, that's your cow today. That's your bell cow. Run the ball down their throats. I really do think that DeAndre Swift makes a difference today. I just do. I have a feeling, and I've been on a run the ball theme today. But this is the time of the year, offensively, where you start to run the ball. It's time. It's playoff time.
A loss today will drop the Eagles from first in the NFC to fifth.
That ain't happening.
I don't think it is either.
That ain't happening today,
I don't
buddy.
think it is either. I think that Niners just ass whooping was exactly the kind of wake up call
What
the
they
Eagles
needed. Yep.
I really
It
do.
was a get right game.
All right, so we're both on the Eagles tonight, and then real quickly we've got a doubleheader on Monday Night Football, and they're two games I don't want to watch. Titans at Dolphins. Titans getting 14.5 points. Any chance you're picking them to win this game here?
Hell no.
Come on now.
Hell no.
Give me some.
Double hell no. Nope. I tried that last week with the damn Commanders. Look how that panned out for me. They got their ass whooped. How do you let Tyreek Hill, fastest man in the NFL, just blow through your zone coverage? Just like, did you got him? Wait, you got him? I got him? Wait,
It wasn't pretty. Wasn't pretty.
that's terrible. That's the one guy on the field that you should pay attention to the whole time. I don't care if you're in zone coverage. I'm breaking off my zone. I'm going, man, if I see him running.
I say that about Travis Kelce all the time, and still the man gets open. Like, I hear you. I'll take the Titans because I'll take the 2 touchdowns, but that'll be 6:15 tomorrow. So 8:15 start for both of these games. That one will be on ESPN. On ABC, we get Packers and Giants. Packers minus 6.5 on the road. I don't want to believe in the Packers. I really don't. But we gonna believe in Danny Dimes? Like you giving me some Danny DeVito here?
Shit. No, Danny Dimes is trash. He's garbage.
Mr. DeVito played great last week. Tommy DeVito did.
Yeah.
Miss Queen jumping back in the chat. Do you think if my Cowboys beat Philly tonight, they got a chance at getting the NFC East? If your Cowboys beat the Eagles tonight, they will win the NFC East. Yeah, I absolutely think so. I think the winner of this game is going to win the NFC East. No thoughts?
The winner of this game wins the NFC East.
Yeah.
Give it to the Eagles.
But she's asking if the Cowboys win, do they win the NFC East?
No. Because they're going to lose next week. You see how I do have a straight face?
Little preview of next week's show.
They're going to lose next week.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you are a wonderful woman. But I cannot for the life of me root for the Cowboys and call me a fanboy. I hate the Cowboys.
Remaining schedule for the Cowboys: at Buffalo, at Miami, versus Detroit, at Washington.
Watch them lose to the Commanders.
I mean, that's a tough schedule down the stretch.
That's tough.
Remaining schedule for the Eagles: at Seattle, versus the Giants, versus the Cardinals, at the Giants.
God dang, that's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was of the mindset that whoever wins this wins the NFC East. The road is significantly harder, Miss Queen, for your Cowboys than it is for the Eagles from here on out. So, and unfortunately, both of us on the Eagles today. All right, Packers, Giants. Who you got? Tommy DeVito in the Giants or Jordan Love in the Packers?
Packers. I think Jordan Love is he. I think the Green Bay Packers have their quarterback at least for another couple years to see. Give me the Packers.
Wow, that's tough for me to handle. I don't I don't know. I don't know if I like it. At least Jordan Love for the next couple of years. But I will agree with you that tomorrow I believe the Packers take care of business. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, my man, before we get out of here?
I'm ready for football, man. I'm ready to start the freaking day. Let's go.
Really?
Let's
Because
go,
I'm going to crawl
Bills.
back in bed
Let's
as soon
go,
as we
Bills.
finish this.
Oh, well, you would. Get a life.
Get a life. Like we're all not going to be sitting watching football. That's
I know, right?
exactly what we're talking about here. What do you mean get a life?
Get a life. Grow up.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. All right. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. I will do a Monday night stream. I'll probably have both games on and be talking about both games at the same time. But I'll be back tomorrow night. And then, Stills, we haven't even talked about holiday schedules. You good to keep doing this, man? Or are you going to get in trouble here at some point?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
All right. So,
Yeah.
you know we'll be here to see you do the NFL pregame show, your NFL pregame show, where we answer all your questions. And at least I put my money where my mouth is and bet all the games that we talk about. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you all next time.
Go
Peace.
Bills.